Hey everyone, Craig here. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk 76. Today we're talking about factions. At the end, we'll be doing a nice little bit of in game fun. Just a couple of things to note before we start. We have only 3 episodes after this one left. Decided to do just 10 episodes of the season, then take a break for New Year and Christmas. We are also looking at doing maybe other types of videos, maybe doing another type of series before we start doing Let's Talk 76 again, which we're thinking about maybe doing after Wastelanders drops. Just so there's more to talk about. But yeah, uh, nice short intro, and yeah, enjoy the show. Alright, so before we start, we'll just do the inside the vault real quick for today, which is what the 20. That would have been the 28th. So yeah, inside the vault starts off. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm Scottish, so I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving, but happy Thanksgiving for the Americans, I guess.
I think it's
So yeah, they start off, in the spirit of Thanksgiving and sharing. They thought they would share some screenshots from Wastelanders, and it's kind of rekindled my hype a little to say. So the first one they have pop up is this one, and it's the church, Mothman cultists or cultists in general. And then
Yeah,
the caption that goes on with it: some mysterious cultists have infiltrated Appalachia. What are they up to? Probably trying to summon the interloper, is my guess. But
yeah. I think that probably is a fair assumption because it's not. There's a difference between Mothman and I think this general occultist will be a thing in Wastelanders as well.
yeah,
Because people seem to enjoy the Mothman stuff. I mean, we had like 3 different weeks of Adam Shot stuff for him. So, and that place is Kanawha County Cemetery. It's west near. It's north of the Nuka-Cola bottling plant and south of Billings Homestead, one of the workshops in the game. So you can go check out the church. It's a whole lot different. In Wastelanders, there's a lot of like the weird, like overgrown wood and strange structures like that, which also kind of adds to the cult feeling of it.
oh, definitely, because those vines, you always see them with the cultists, and those vines weren't there before. So
Yeah, it's weird growths. Like they intentionally put them there and like put them up. It's like a this is our church.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's obvious in the photo that like it's obvious in the photo that like it's made up of bone and everything, and that it's done some damage to the church as well.
yeah, those are big bones, like Gear said. Um, I think it might just be the whalebone models from the game, but at the same time,
Yeah,
I really want them to be Scorch Beast skeletons, just because it's been a year. There must be some dead Scorch Beasts flying around. So the
right.
next picture they've got is in the ash heap, and it's of a raider camp.
Hmm.
That one, I think you said you worked out. It was down near. You managed to
Yeah,
find the
it was.
location in game.
So it's kind of on the eastern side of it, right before or down the road from Lake Reynolds, which is another large structure you can see is from there. And you can see Hornwright Estate in the photo as well as Top of the World because they're elevated. I try to find, you look east and you got to see both of those locations, and it's a pretty large crane structure that you can see it. So it's kind of a telltale. I thought it was gonna be like a smaller place than that, but it's easy to find.
Yeah, there's not really much to kind of go over in that photo. It's just your good old classic raider camp, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I've tried to zoom in and like look at what's in there,
You can see a couple of
but
people. There's a guy like
there's
standing
some
in the
small
entranceway
things.
in like a
Yeah,
greaser jacket. There's a raider in one of the watchtowers. That's about it.
yeah, you can
So
see some like. You can't zoom in too much. You see some like lamps and special things that we might be able to build one day.
possible. A lot of decorations I'd like to see. The next one is it's the Watoga parking lot, and I'm really excited for that one because you see like the
Yes.
garages and the elevators that go underground, but you can never go in. And it
Yeah.
looks like raiders are going to be there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Leave or die. It's on the tarp. If you're looking at the photo, look at the photo. There's just spikes everywhere the cages, and there's a tarp hanging that says "Leave or Die." And you get barbed wire everywhere.
One of the things I'm looking forward to about that is setting off a chain reaction with the cars.
Yeah, if that's possible, yeah, I think a lot of people are going to do that. And if you also focus on the bottom left side of the photo, there's a military crates and such. So these are going to be probably well-armed raiders, if they are raiders, other than just aggressive settlers.
Yeah. There's another screenshot. This one, I think, is probably the one you're most intrigued by, Stacks. And it's the Foundation settlers in a cave underneath Spruce Knob. And it looks like to me some sort of like water purification plant or something like that, you know?
And you got just anything. It's a place that we haven't seen yet, so it's like we can't really tell much off of it. You can see like a very small person in the background wearing like a tank, and you can see people in the background occasionally in some parts of the photo, and a guy on a construction hat in the bottom left. It's obvious a bunch of people that are they probably, it's just one of the many groups in Wastelanders that they're kind of got their own unique twist, and I think, like you said, it's probably not so much of a weird name for like an actual like organization. It's more like they call themselves the Foundation because they're the foundation for rebuilding Appalachia. And I think being at Spruce Knob kind of alludes to the idea of they might have found some Brotherhood stuff, so they're like, oh, we can fight back the Scorch Beast with the same tactics and see if it works for us.
One of the things that really intrigues me about that is the wording of it. Is they have discovered a cave where they can take cover from Scorch Beasts and make plans, and it almost implies that maybe they've been there since before the plague. They've hid away waiting to rebuild.
Yeah. I mean, it could just be, there's a big idea that, like, we're all of Vault 76. We're not just going to be a lot of, like, there's not going to be a lot of Vault 76 members there, but, I mean, you might be, like, one of the people that are like, hey, it was my job to rebuild America, too. I'd like to help.
Yeah.
This is just as much my job.
And one thing I want to bring up in terms of that screenshot as well is, it could just be coincidence, but earlier today, when I was going around looking at the locations and trying to find them, I noticed that Spruce Knob is very close to where the Overseer was last known to be.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe the Overseer is going to show up with the Foundation.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to the last screenshot. I don't know if there's not really much to say about the next one. It's the Ghoul.
Mort. He was shown in an earlier screenshot. The Duchess screenshot, and everybody's kind of hyped about that because it's kind of like the human NPC. That's so cool.
Yeah,
we thought they were all gone. And I would like to see the story between them, because I talked about it earlier as well, just kind of like idle chat. And like Duchess kind of saw Mort before, she was with Mort before the war, and he got ghoulified, and she told him basically we stay together. I like to see that, in Fallout, people sticking together for once. Because we haven't seen that since Fallout 4, since there were people in the beginning.
Exactly.
It's like you get to see the bond between characters. I don't know, I like the stories.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing about Wastelanders is we're actually going to get to hear stories from the people themselves,
Yeah.
So yeah, survive. Inside the vault, after the screenshots, they kind of just move on to say, they continue working on Wastelanders. They're growing more and more excited to show us some of what they've been working on in the new year, which implies maybe January. They're looking to share some previews of upcoming Wastelanders content with us so that we can get a better understanding of what to expect. Said along the way, they'll introduce us to a few of the characters, environments, take a closer look at new weapons and enemies, and post some screenshots and offer details about new systems and improvements. So honestly, I think that's the sort of stuff we've been wanting from inside the vault for the past few weeks,
Yeah, we've been wanting news, kind of like with this, like, we love stats. I love stats anyway, but I love the things about, they announced last week, I'm pretty sure, that, we can't do a lot of these glitches because we can't do all these bugs and everything because of Wastelanders, and now they're starting to tell us more about Wastelanders. I think we figured out from last week that now they're going to start telling us more about it. A lot of people want that news because they don't want to go in blind completely.
It's just it bites us over while we wait for release, and I think that's the thing. It lets us know, hey, are you guys like still alive?
People
still
talk.
Working on it?
You look at the different subreddits, and you're like, oh, cool, it gets people talking. And I think they understand that when you get people start theorizing, making theories, it gives you more of a chance to blow their minds when you do the exact opposite,
So the end off the Inside the Vault was just a little reminder, that there's a Purveyor sale on until 12 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday, December 3rd. Yeah, all in all, like that's kind of what Inside the Vault should really be like going forward. Like I feel like every week, even just one screenshot would go a long way.
What's next? Well, yeah, I mean, from the very beginning when that Bethesda Game Studios on the 76 subreddit came out and said, sorry about communication. This is communication going forward. We're going to tell you what we're doing. I think they're going to continue that now that we got something to tell them. I think 76 probably gets the most feedback of a lot of games.
For sure. Cool. So that's Inside the Vault for this week. I guess we'll let the lovely viewers get back to our normal programming. Same again next week, and we'll do the Inside the Vault at the start, and hopefully we might have more news to share. But yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, so we're here with the Faction episode. I'm joined by Convict, Price, Stacks, and Gear. And before we get started, we'll just do the usual catch up, and we'll go, from right to left. So, Gear, what have you been up to this week?
Not much. Just doing dailies to get some atoms and grinding legendaries for the Purveyor sale.
Nice.
Apart from Fallout 76, I was kind of like, running around the usual. I was doing events, getting Purveyor stuff done. Now that the sales started, I'm out of script already. Building around, just doing like little tweaks to my camp, getting that turkey outfit and screwing around on it on public servers. And other than that, I think just kind of looking at Fallout 4 again, seeing that, getting that refresh, how it feels to have NPCs, the anticipation for Wastelanders.
Yeah, I'll have to admit, playing Fallout 4 again has been kind of great. It's just been it's kind of refreshing, given
its pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I've been doing is, I don't know, I only discovered it recently that daily quests give you script, so I've been doing my dailies quite a lot recently.
Yeah.
I never realised that. I think it's like 88 script or something. If you do every single daily. Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I've been focusing on leveling up my other character and taking advantage of the script sale as well. And then I also got back into Fallout 4 because I haven't played in a year, I would say.
It's weird. I don't know what kind of brought on the spur to play Fallout 4 again. I think it was the new Creation Club stuff kind of interested me a bit. It kind of made me go, oh, Minutemen, which is kind of cool because we can talk about that because it's a faction episode later. But yeah. What about you, Convict? What have you been up to? I know you've been kind of busy.
Dealing with the bullshit that is college.
Yes.
So, yeah, not much Fallout stuff really.
Nah, just dealing with college, dealing with work study, and popped on 76 once for 5 minutes to look at the new Atom Shop stuff, realized I didn't have enough atoms, and then I couldn't afford to buy atoms, and then getting back offline.
The ones.
Speaking of, after we're done here, I need to earn 80 atoms real quick.
What for? Shadow?
The Black Handmaid.
Oh,
I'm going to try to get Shadow Prime next week when my paycheck hits.
Doesn't it end next week?
Yeah, but my paycheck hits before it ends. I hope.
Your hopes and dreams.
Alright,
call up Bethesda to complain. They won't let me give them my money.
This is like something's not right. Convict's not spending any atoms this month.
I mean, I
Yeah.
legit haven't. Like, aside from Burst stuff I got, which I still need to renew that.
A personal
Aside from
call.
the
to
Fallout
check
Burst
in.
stuff, I haven't spent any atoms.
Todd Howard himself shows up at your door like, "Hey man,
Oh my God.
you okay?"
Is he home? Is your son home, ma'am?
Yeah, I just couldn't afford to get it right now because I still got to pay off that bit of balance for classes for the semester. But work study's going to cover that next week.
Yeah. So we'll get
Mostly.
moving on with the faction discussion. And usually, you know, we've got like, sort of topics laid out that we want to discuss. But I think what we'll kind of do this time around is, you know, the first half we'll talk about past and present stuff to do with factions, and then for the last half we can talk about speculation and future ideas. So to start, let's talk about factions. Yeah, what's your favourite?
Responders.
Okay, so expanding that, why the Responders your favourite?
I feel like they're the first kind of legit faction you run into, and they're new to the series, so it's kind of like there's only like 2 real factions, well 3 if you count Mothman, Cult, and all that. Yeah, I think they're like they're really unique in a way, but at the same time they're kind of simple. And it's kind of like it's just public relief, you know, when the bombs dropped and everybody was like starting to have problems with like what are we going to do now? The responders are kind of there, like, hey, come to Flatwoods or Morgantown or Charleston. We're here to help. They were the helpers.
Yeah, I'd say.
They remind
Sorry, on you go, Price.
Oh yeah, they remind me of the Division and the whole plot with that. It's how it's like, oh, with civilization gone, there's like ex police officers, firefighters, etc.
JTF, they're called, aren't they? The Joint Task
Yeah, there's
Force.
the ATF there, and then there's the what's the division actually called?
SHD, I think, Strategic Command.
Yeah,
Defense.
Shade. Yeah,
Yeah.
Shade.
It was a Division Homeland.
Strategic Homeland Division. They're kind of like that, and then they kind of have. They've kind of got. I think every faction has their own like, little downfall story. In this 76, I think it's like the first half of the story really, of Unto Wastelanders, and it kind of started out as they were a government and everything. They were doing pretty successful. Then Raiders came, flooded their capital city and the current capital city, West Virginia, and they were forced to leave from Morgantown. And over time, there was just so much tension between all the different factions, and they were the ones that had a lot of civilians, a lot of families. They weren't really a military faction either, so they were kind of killed off. They were the last people to really get killed off. You know,
Yeah.
They didn't have
each and
the
every
fireworks.
faction had their own weapon against the Scorch and everything. You know, they had the inoculation project on the side of the responders. The Brotherhood had their just straight up weaponry and everything against them. They had the sonar. What was it called? The
Sonic generators.
They had the sonic generators, and the Free States had the detection system. The
Well, and
Enclave
you gotta
had.
remember the Brotherhood had the primitive prime receivers with those anti-scorch receivers.
Yeah, they had
they worked out,
everything.
what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, like they aren't as effective as prime receivers, but they're still useful.
Yeah, it was very like. I know it was very crucial for the Fire Breathers because it just was never like the same thing with the inoculation, but it just never made it. It didn't outlast them.
Yeah. Everything was kind of they ran out of time basically, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of funny that literally the Vault Dwellers come out and it's just kind of, hey, all you need to do is put in a fuse and push a couple of buttons and you're good to go pretty much.
Yeah, and I think that also kind of adds to it that
They were
You
so
need to get
close.
samples too, though.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the RP. Like if you look earlier, you know, Claire Hudson, who was the lead doctor down there working on the inoculation project, she was asking for a fuse because she was starting to run out of them that she could use, and the certain fuses could only be really found at Greg's Mine Supply since they had already drained all the other places to get them, basically in Appalachia, working on this cure. And before they were able to even start bringing it down to her, they were already holed in. They had no chance to get it to her, so she was kind of stuck down there.
She ended up in Morgantown. she ended up giving up on the project and traveling north to die with the rest
Yeah,
of the
it's
responders.
to help out with any survivors, and if so, die. She's not the one that caused it, but she dies somewhere on the way or there. I looked at that. She's actually not the one that's in the closet.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I looked and I was going through all that while I was doing the role play and the written. I was going through Morgantown Airport. She's not the one that talks about 10 days. She can survive 10 days. She found some water, but she does leave though, and she leaves the way to get it, which is to get get blood samples from like 3 creatures that are resistant to the scorch virus.
So sad nonetheless. You know, she would rather go die with everyone than stay down there.
Yeah, because she ended up boxing herself in. It's like, you know, I can't really leave, and if I leave, I can't come back. But I think the responders are really good for what they did. You know, they kind of the Brotherhood was really busy fighting the Scorched and ended up commandeering ammo a lot in the name of doing the Scorched and everything. And it became a thing of, I was looking at a lot of terminal entries and everything. Maria Chavez wrote in the HQ, in the room where she died, the HQ terminal, talking about dealing with the Brotherhood. And it's like, don't join them. They need you, but we need you a whole lot more, because the Brotherhood fighting the Scorched. The Raiders do better than to fight the Brotherhood in a lot of ways. They knew not to directly attack the Brotherhood, and it was easier to fight the responders. They were losing ammo. They didn't have the soldiers and everything. They didn't have power armor and everything.
They were easy.
The Raiders, yeah, they're easy. They're easy going for. That's why Raiders aren't really the military that they are. Tossing Wastelanders, they're not gonna pick on the strongest. They're gonna pick on the weak. And the responders are the weak in that situation. They have civilians. Brotherhood's full of military.
Yeah. So, in terms of other factions, has anyone else got a different favourite faction that's not responders?
I quite like the Raiders.
Just in general.
The
Raiders
Raiders
are cool.
The Raiders, they've done them really. You know, that's something I actually noticed, and it's something that there was a big change that I noticed in Fallout 4 was they began humanizing the Raiders a lot more.
They began giving them names and everything. They had a leader. Yeah, even the ones at the Iron Smelting Center, you know, they had their own like identity. Yeah. They're not just guys who are chem addicts, you know.
And it sort of echoed on into like Nuka World as well, and then even in this, they broke the Raiders up into like the Gormans, the Cutthroats, Trappers,
Diehards, Blackwater Bandits.
It's really good.
They had their own. They even had their own downfalls. Like you could count them as separate factions from each other. They all had their own reasons for why they died. It wasn't the same reason. Yeah,
it's amazing. It's really well done, honestly. And then again with Wastelanders, even with that, it's not just going to be a simple case of it's just a bunch of raiders. There's going to be I think people have already confirmed there's going to be cannibals, Mothman cult, the Scabbers, which is by the sounds of things is the raiders at the space station, and then there's just going to be generic sort of wasters, which are the normal raiders. So,
yeah, I think raiders are. Another thing that kind of ties the raiders into responders, and I believe that most of the raiders did come from the ski resort and needed help, but the responders rejected to give them help unless they joined. So there's a little bit of background on it. I couldn't find anything else on it, but it's kind of like the raiders are really reactive of responder action, you know, where it's like they were kind of left behind. The way they survived was taken. Yeah, it's just they're survivors as well in this whole wasteland idea, because when the world ended, basically, you know, people go off in their own groups, find their own ways to survive.
I think in terms of my favorite faction, you all know what I'm going to say is Enclave, but I think
I couldn't have possibly guessed that.
The only
just by the,
it's just I think the only reason I like the Enclave, I don't like Eckhart. I hate how Eckhart and like Grey were in that side of the Enclave, but I think I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but I think it was like Major Ragnar's daughter or something like that. You'll see his name in the terminals and stuff, and was it General Santiago or Colonel Santiago, which he really was.
Yeah.
I like that side of the Enclave, like where they were just soldiers, just trying to do their job. They weren't, they didn't have like some sort of evil agenda. They just wanted to
Yeah.
rebuild America. And that's kind of similar to how Colonel Autumn in Fallout 3, he basically kept a cap on Eden. Eden wanted to, kill everyone, and Autumn actually wanted to take the Purifier and use it to negotiate a treaty with the Brotherhood and form a government.
Yeah.
And Eden didn't like that. If you all remember, Eden goes crazy and then tells all the robots to massacre all the Enclave in Raven Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
This is a strange thing about the Enclave too. I mean, I think the Enclave and Brotherhood both have that appeal. Why they had to be in the game? It's kind of like they're the classics, It's
Yeah.
like
They're staples of the franchise. That's the same with Super Mutants. It wouldn't be Fallout without Super Mutant.
And my thing with the Enclave is is it 1 or 2 where it's 1, isn't it, with Vault 13?
Vault 2.
And the Master.
Fallout 2.
Yeah, it's Vault 2. Well,
Fallout 2.
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Anyway, the Enclave, at least in 1 and 2, they're assholes. Can't argue that, but they at least had a plan. When they took innocent people and turned them into super mutants, they were trying to make themselves a strong workforce for their efforts. They were trying to get their goals done, and they had a plan, and they're trying to follow it. And then you've got Eckhart over here.
Eckhart's insane. I think it was like a personal vendetta. Because wasn't his dad called a traitor and all that? Because the Chinese.
He's dad.
I think he just kind of was like, he was kind of more of those things where he had twisted thoughts before the war, losing sight or losing communications with Raven Rock and all that, and being able to kill all of his opposition made it a whole lot easier. Agent Gray and people by his side, and Santiago tried to keep that, but I think Modus had other plans. Or it kind of ended with, "I gotta stop this." I like the AI portion of it. And Eckhart basically had the idea that since the world's over, time to end somebody else's world.
It's really actually kind of sad when you listen to the not the holotape, the Silktron recording in the White Springs bunker, and you hear I think it's like I said, Major Ragnar's daughter, the Major we'll call him, just so I don't need to try and keep pronouncing it. The Major, and you hear him they've won, they've beat the bad guys, they've captured Eckhart, they've won, and just because they tried to destroy the bioweapon lab, and in the process they damaged Modus, and Modus freaked out and killed everyone.
Yeah.
And it's just like, damn, they were so close to winning and saving everything. Because think about it, if the Enclave had won that fight, they could have stopped the Scorch Beast. They probably would have. Santiago and the Major, they would have probably. They probably would have got a hold of the Brotherhood and be like, "Hey, listen, we know what the fuck these things are. Let's try and stop them."
Hashtag free Modus. Yeah, I like the idea that Modus is gonna have to come into play. Yeah, he's got this eyes, that damn smile. No, he's an interesting thing because he's just an AI, nothing more, nothing less. But he is more.
I feel like the damage to him has actually made him less of an AI and more sentient, more self-aware, similar to Zax.
Yeah,
he's reactive, He's more reactive because
he's learning. He's picking things up. He's thinking.
Artificial intelligence. So he knows that you can't really trust people when they start doing stuff when they start losing their fear of themselves.
I wonder
that care.
I wonder how if Modus will see opportunity in the new arrivals, Wastelanders, because
you better not.
Well, the Enclave used to kidnap responders and brainwash them.
Yeah, that was is that not a Mama Dolce's thing?
No, they physically used to. They would kill. Well, the Mama Dolce's thing was they'd found the Chinese base and took it over, and were trying to work out how to use the liberators. But a bunch of responders, locals, kept trying to snip around, so they started killing the locals and leaving their body nearby, and used Chinese stealth technology to convince them that Mama Dolce's was haunted.
The fruit lady.
But
Fruit
they eventually abandoned it because the liberators, they couldn't control them, and the machines wouldn't stop producing them, so they eventually bailed out.
Freaking rodents, man.
But what we were talking about before that, sorry, Mama Dolce's. Responders. Oh yeah,
It was just the Enclave
they were-
brainwashing.
they were kidnapping responders and taking them to the White Springs bunker and brainwashing them and turning them into Enclave soldiers.
Yeah,
It's kind of
it's the Brotherhood ass. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't actually really talk much about the Brotherhood or Free States.
Yeah, that I like the main reason why I like the Brotherhood is I like their armor and such. I like all that technology that they have. It's cool. It's unique. It's known. Like, oh yeah, the Brotherhood is known for having all this exquisite technology and such. But then there's also the point of, if you think about it, if you take Fallout 1, not placing games in order of time period from when there are, let's say you start with Fallout 1, then Fallout 2, and then I believe, Fallout 3. I'm ignoring tactics and all that out of the way. I find it kind of interesting that we see the Brotherhood as these cool ass people from the very beginning, from Fallout 1 and 2. 3, they're pretty awesome. Then we got New Vegas, which turns them into more of a bunch of assholes, like technology hungry assholes. And then 4 comes out, and then they're basically a bunch of technology hungry assholes as well. And they're racist technology loving assholes. Let me rephrase that question. And
4.
Not racist.
Say again?
It's like straight up.
Species.
Okay.
Different. Still
Alright.
bad, but they at least didn't pay people off their color.
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
I know. I'm just, you know what I meant. Anyway.
People always beat the Brotherhood up like they were like super awesome good guys back in Fallout 3, but they weren't. Basically, I'm pretty sure if you take the Brotherhood anywhere near Underworld, they start opening fire on the ghouls.
They opened fire on the ghouls that like patrol the area. I know that for a fact. Not even playing Fallout 3 because I remember looking at some stuff in Fallout lore for subreddit. I just like scroll through it sometimes. I'll figure out some stuff. The Brotherhoods, they've always had like that other side, you know.
Right. But it's not. It's shown through. It's shown through like moments like that. But over the surface, you don't see it as much. Like, you know what I mean? It's not something that's like visibly clear. Like, oh, you see them in Fallout 1, and you're like, oh, okay, they're these people that follow this order. They're basically knights, like futuristic knights, basically. And you're like, okay, that's cool. You basically go to them to learn power armor training. That's how you get power armor in the Fallout 1 and 2, I'm pretty sure. And the Enclave are introduced as well, bringing up that as well. When the Enclave are introduced in Fallout 2 for the first time, they're known as being just a bunch of terrible fucking people. Like, they're brutal. They literally opened fire on a friendly vault for I can't remember the specific reason because I haven't played Fallout 2 fully. But they open fire on vaults and etc. And then throughout each Fallout game, we see more of them, but also less. For instance, like we see them in 2, and then we see them in 3, and then you don't really see them in New Vegas. There are the remnants of them, but not, you know what I mean? It's not like the full group. It's the remnants, and then after that, we see them in Fallout 3, and we're like, oh yeah, they're still assholes, kind of in a way.
And then I think Fallout 3 Enclave is probably my favourite representation of the Enclave in general. Just like,
yes,
I don't like the whole secret society thing. I like it as if it's like, yeah, we're the army, we're here to rebuild, you know, and like the propaganda and the patriotism of it all.
Right. As soon as you leave Vault 101, there's an iBot, an Enclave iBot, and you're sitting, like, if you're new to Fallout for the first time you're playing Fallout 3, you just see the Enclave iBot, and you're like, well, what the hell's the Enclave? And then you find out later on in the story, and they introduce themselves. And then we come back to Fallout 1, or let me rephrase that, Fallout 76, which is before 1 chronologically, you know, and then they're shown off as being, like, they don't show as much as I'm not familiarized with the lore of the Enclave in this game that much. I just know that there was everyone down in the White Springs bunker, and they all ended up getting murdered by Modus. But it wasn't, like, I didn't know about the whole brainwashing thing that you were just talking about earlier.
Yeah, basically the Enclave in Fallout 76 had their own little sort of mini civil war. There was kind of like two sides of the Enclave. There was the good guys and the bad guys. There was Eckhart that was kind of blinded by his obsession for power and stuff, and he wanted to become the president, and he rigged elections, and he wanted to launch nukes, and, you know. And then you had Santiago and the Major and stuff like that were just, they wanted just to get on with the Enclave's plan. And even Modus talks about that. It's like that. you know, the Enclave had a noble cause, but they were too petty to see it realized.
And that's the thing I like about it. It's from the previous times that we've seen the Enclave in other games, they're shown off as villains, and then in this, they're kind of shown off as not as villainous in a way.
All the factions are kind of shown off in a neutral light.
Yeah.
I want to put stuff in on the like Brotherhood in all the games, kind of, or any of the games that I've played. The Brotherhood's really open for like, if you're willing to help, you can help. And in 76, I think they start out like that, and I think they realized a little too late. When I think one of Max's last words to Taggarty is, "You got to think outside the box," And that's where he finally decided. He's like, "We don't want you to nuke, but you got to think outside the box now. You gotta." And she was very like, civilians are a unnecessary risk, And I think they realized a little too late that they can't accept help from local populace, because the local populace is doctors and responders, and responders are just too. They're a little too late to accept that, because I think they're like hate clouded by that. Like, oh man,
it's kind of like it's the nuclear option basically.
Yeah,
we have to try to find a better option before we actually get to that. And it's like, nope, it's gonna have to be that, or we all die.
I love how the Brotherhood's kind of portrayed in a realistic manner in this game too, because they talk about like knights, scribes, what are we like, right, medieval times, and then Maxon says words have power, and I think that kind of reflects that. Obviously, the Fallout 3 and 4 isn't directly descended from Taggarty's thunder, but we really look at how to say it. I don't know how to say it. They came from the West and everything. Taggarty's thunder might be forgotten by the time we hit Fallout 3 and 4. We probably forget about Taggarty's thunder. They died.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they'll end up getting. It's like the whole idea, like their history will get like erased in Appalachia before the rest of the games happen.
Yeah, and like the archives of the Brotherhood, they're not going to list like Taggarty's thunder in Appalachia, because I think after that Fallout 4 GNR stuff, they do say that Appalachia has some really great sites still. So I'm assuming that Appalachia is its own little wasteland, but it doesn't have any wars or turmoil going on it.
Yeah.
On the topic of Taggarty,
can
I just say that she is literally the worst fucking leader in the entire Brotherhood?
Ooh, that's a little far. Okay.
I don't know, man. I think it's a tough one, because I think she made the decisions she made for the right reasons, but it was she made the wrong decisions for the right reasons.
Wrong outcomes.
Yeah, at the end of the day, her calls failed miserably, because you've got people like Maxon, not the first Maxon, the 1 in 4, who make decisions that, well, the morality is gray on how they're enacted. His goals are still noble at the end of the day, despite the way he tries to do it. Exactly. Like you've got Elijah in New Vegas, who admittedly abandons his chapter, but at the end of the day, gets what he wants to do done, and is only stopped because the player comes along and fucks him over and locks him in a vault. He had what he needed to take over the Mojave. He had unstoppable hologram armies that he was building. He had the cloud. He could have won.
What about Elder Alliance in Fallout 3?
He's very, I don't know anything about Fallout 3.
He was too
I can't remember.
He was soft as hell, but ultimately his goals were accomplished, although again, that was mainly by the protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
The Lone Wanderer.
Yeah. But in all of those cases, they accomplished their objectives. And then Taggarty over here, instead of thinking for herself like a good commander should, follows the orders of a man thousands of miles away who has no way of seeing the entire battlefield and understanding the full extent of how fucked they are, and ultimately ruins her chapter completely.
Well, I was looking into it today, actually, and I actually watched Oxhorn. I finally got around to watching Oxhorn's huge long video about it. And yeah, so basically it wasn't the fact that she listened to him, it was the fact that she didn't. The last Maxon told her, you need to open up and start working with other people, and she was like, nah, they're just a risk, they'll just get us into trouble. So instead of working with the responders in the Free States, she was like, no, we'll take the
That's
resources.
That's the fucking
that was
thing.
part of her failing, but it wasn't the whole failing.
That feels like
Max
the
had
fuck,
also
like,
said don't use nukes.
that feels like a constant thing though with the Brotherhood. They never want to. They're more about taking things instead of like helping or pitching in.
It's almost as if they've got like, no faith in other people. You know what I mean? Like it's like no, we can handle this. This is up to us. You know.
I think
It's like
The
the
Enclave
Brotherhood
are the kind of
actually-
people that have. I mean, not the Enclave. The Brotherhood are the kind of people that have major trust issues.
I
They're
think
confident in their own
nowadays-
abilities, but they can't trust anyone else in their abilities.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about leaders and Fallout and everything. If you want to count Elder McNamara,
Oh,
Taggart
God.
was an Elder anyway. She was a paladin.
Yeah.
I think
She's still kind of
either
silly.
Elder. Yeah, she's just the leader on the East Coast at the time.
Smack.
I was like, Elder McNamara and all that, but yeah, especially Elder McNugget. Yeah, there's like he's kind of just doesn't have a grip on the soldiers and everything, and I think it's the same thing that Taggarty also kind of had a problem with because there's some stuff like the responders where it's like Taggarty does not give any orders to bother them or attack or harm them, and you know damn well they're going to do it at least once or twice.
Oh yeah, you can't
Every
control
once in a
every
while.
squad.
And I think that's another thing where it's like they didn't have that same pride. I think the Brotherhood in 76 has a lot of the not the oh yeah, you know, I have Victorian pride. They have the with the army, step the fuck out of our way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they were army. Everyone in the
Yeah.
in 26's Brotherhood, with the exception of Grant.
Grant and Wilson.
Was it Grant?
No, Grant.
Yeah.
Wilson was Grant. I'm pretty sure, or one of the two. 'Cause,
One or two of them were not Brotherhood. They were the first non-Brotherhood members accepted by Taggarty as part of an example that hey, we could use some of these people from outside.
Yeah.
We're not gonna because we're idiots, but we could.
There was there's a member of the responders that wasn't military that looked to be a combat medic. They only recruited who they wanted, and they told everybody they would like kind of like, hey, you want to join us instead? You know, not all military, but they did really go out of their ways to really be like, hey, come here.
join us. But okay,
You know
so
you wanna.
one more faction that we've not really spoken about actually as a couple, and I'll explain that in a second. But Free States. What's your thoughts on the Free States?
Like the same thing with the spawners. They're the new people to the series, and they did them pretty well. Or it's kind of like they tied in a lot of the factions together too. And in the Free States category, it's tied in with the Enclave a good bit, and the responders, and somewhat Vault 76 or Vault Tech University in general. Is Sam Blackwell, his daughter, and Riley Clay being kind of like the figurative leader after Sam Blackwell kind of disappears out of fear.
Justified fear.
Justified fear,
Highly justified.
You had Enclave
No
Agent
comment.
Gray
No comment.
and like all of his people. Yeah, like just these terrible people hunting after him, dude. These terrible freaking people, these rats, just hunting after him constantly.
You know what's funny as well, though? You know the whole thing that pushed them into hiding was nothing to do with the Enclave, and it was just
Yeah, no.
it was the Hornwrights. It was
It
something
was
to do
the
with it.
freaking people that had their hand in it too.
Hilarious. So he ended up.
At one point, wasn't there an? I might be remembering this wrong, but I swear I saw an entry inside the Enclave bunker at one point mentioning as that some Enclave spy getting whacked when they were trying to go after Blackwell.
Yeah,
Gray.
basically.
Yeah,
That's
Gray-
what forced
they
him into
ended up
hiding. He's like,
hunting
no,
after
fuck
him.
you guys, I'm hiding now.
They ended up hunting after him. Hornwright scared him into hiding before the
Yeah.
war. He came out, was scared back into hiding by somebody who they thought was an Enclave soldier getting killed within the walls of Harper's Ferry. I think it was an Enclave agent, or it might have been like,
It was.
I know it was involved Harper's Ferry, and then he was forced back in hiding because he was like, oh crap, they're coming for me now.
Yeah,
And
But,
eventually he died of his dementia problems and his guilt, everything, just age. after
Blackwell's
his daughter
story
died.
is really fucking sad because when it kind of goes, it was against the automation of Appalachia, so Hornwright, sent a fake sort of death threat about his kid. They thought it would just make him stop worrying about that automation, but Blackwell was kind of suspicious of the Enclave, and he assumed it was the Enclave that done it. So he went into hiding and declared all his secrets and started the Free States movement. So then, when the Free States movement all kicked off, and he went into hiding with his daughter, and his wife divorced him, which was the first fucking kick to the balls. And then he started getting dementia, and then when the Scorch Plague
I take it
surfaced,
to Mentats.
he had to start taking Mentats, yeah, because of his dementia. And then the Scorch Plague happened. His daughter died to the Scorch Plague, and he was literally
Scorch took the kids.
the same day that he was going to turn himself into the White Springs so that they would save his daughter. She died. So then,
Yeah.
because he was so depressed and alone, he went to Harper's Ferry and worked in the armory. But someone recognised him, and then later that night, he heard vertibirds flying above Harper's Ferry, and then a weird man appeared in town the next day. And then he murdered him because it turned out to be an Enclave agent. And then that's when the whole Agent Grey and his bunker thing happened, and Blackwell died. It's actually a really sad story when you really think about it.
He's one reason that Harper's Ferry fails because Riley Clay has to go back into hiding as well with his. I think after the attack of Harper's Ferry, where I think his wife and one of his kids die, he's forced to go into hiding with his son and daughter Michael and Megan. Which I hope they come into play later. We never really get to see it because he either left the bunker.
Like a new generation, that would be really good.
There was something in Blackwell's bunker, one of the congressional notes or something like that. It was something Fed related. Anyway, it mentioned how Blackwell was investigating into a discrepancy between the alarms for nuclear launches that were given to the public and the ones given to the military. And he had found there was a discrepancy, but he also received a threat from some senator, congressman, or something politician-wise, basically saying, hey, nah, there's nothing wrong. Stop looking into it.
The early distress beacon.
Because it's actually documented as well in the games. There's a several-minute difference between the feds knowing and the public knowing.
When I was playing Fallout 4, actually, I clocked on to something, because when I thought about it, in Fallout 4, you go to, where Pam is and stuff like that, and it talks about how they detected the nukes, like, way, 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 way off the coast. But in Fallout 4, at the start of the game, you don't know the bombs are dropping until they've already hit New York and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it kind of speaks for itself in Fallout 4.
I know that 76 dwellers. I think 76 dwellers and Enclave members and congressmen got their little notification. The early warning system fired off, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on here?"
Fun little fact about the vaults and the bombs. When the bombs fell, a lot of people just ignored the vault alert system, telling them to get to the vault because they thought it was a drill. Because they'd been doing that many drills for the vaults. They were just like, it's just another drill. So a lot of the vaults ended up with less people in them than they should have.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So we've kind of hit about 40 minutes on the first segment. So I think what we'll do is we'll take a quick break, and then we'll just talk about some recent going-ons in Fallout. And then when we come back from that, we'll just do our ideas for factions in the future of 76. So yeah, we'll be right back. All right, so we're just talking about, recent news in the Fallout 76 and just general Fallout news as well. I guess the first thing to talk about is maybe 25% sale off in the Legendary vendor. Thanksgiving.
I need to go there and check that out still.
Yeah, I went there today. I spent all my script already.
Me too.
Yeah.
Same.
Kind of anticlimactic. Thanksgiving stuff at the App Store. The turkey suit.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, sure. I saw it and I was like, I'm gonna wait till another day. I usually do this with every purchase in a life, where I'm like, I'll wait a day, and if I still want it after 2 or 3 days, then I want
Yeah.
it. And that's what I did with the turkey outfit. And I was like, I want it after a day. I was like, I'm getting it. Or no, actually, it came out on Tuesday. Nah, I bought it on Bulls. I think I actually thought about it because I think I was thinking the entire last week if I was gonna buy it. And I said, if it's under 1,000, I'll probably get it.
I didn't really mess with much of the other App Store stuff. The new display case is really nice. I don't know if
I like the new display case.
As you can see behind us.
Yeah, I love the new display case. I put Disney on one on it.
What else happened this week in terms of Fallout 76? Devs have been really, really active. I've noticed that.
They've been really reactive, and I like that. I mean, they're starting up their Bethesda streams again. They're not always doing Fallout 76 and all that. They start setting up schedules. They've been on top of stuff on the forums and kind of on Reddit.
I've seen them refine a lot on like Twitter and stuff as well. They've been busy.
Yeah.
Just replying to sort of general issues that people talk about. It just seems to be the same answer people are getting. You know, it's planned for Wastelanders, but they'll try and get it out.
I think tomorrow we might get. I don't know what type of information they can give us tomorrow.
Christmas event info, maybe. Just recap the sale this week.
That might be a little bit too early
They let
for
us know
that.
they're dropping Wastelanders in 24 hours.
That'd be crazy.
Merry Christmas,
That I love.
Wastelanders.
It's the kind of bullshit Bethesda would pull, honestly.
From what
That'd be
I've
crazy.
heard, they're actually aiming for a February release. But yeah, that pretty much sums up all the recent news, really. Like I said, it's been a quiet week. I'm sure, obviously, you know, we'll have talked about Inside the Vault earlier in this episode by the point, you know, this is uploaded. But hopefully the Inside the Vault was good.
Hopefully, yeah.
Because this will come out on Friday. Inside the Vault's tomorrow. It's really confusing. I'm not going to try and talk it. We're like our timeline's kind
It gets published when it gets published.
Yes.
We recorded the talking about every topic and all that, and then when we hit a point where Inside the Vault comes out, then we try to get it out as quick as possible so it's still news.
Yeah.
Craig, I just found you on Reddit.
Oh no.
I found your cat module skin post from last night.
Oh yeah. It's true though. Camp module skins would be amazing.
Honestly, like I would love that because it looks nice as a little gadget wherever you put it for decoration. Because some of you who are watching might not know this because a lot of people don't screw with camps. But you can actually move that module itself when you're in the build menu. You just select it and move it wherever you want, and it doesn't change where the build location is.
I've always liked that.
I've used it as a decoration.
I would kill for an Enclave colored one or a Brotherhood colored one.
An Enclave one would be sweet.
An Enclave one would look better for building a build-to-our camp, personally.
Yeah.
Excuse me, oh.
Instead of a Raider one with a skull on it.
Yeah, like see like the little
No.
The bit that
The
looks
Raider
like a
one, they
projectile.
take the top part off and they replace it with a skull.
Yeah. Exactly. Right, I think we'll finish up the what we'll do section and then we'll take a break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about ideas for the future of factions in Fallout 76. And this actually gives us a good chance to talk about Wastelanders a little bit in depth. So yeah, we'll be right back. Alright, last section. And we're just going to talk about, you know, our ideas for factions, what we think is going to happen with factions in the future, and just general future stuff. Anyone got any ideas they'd like to share with us? Or speculations?
I would personally like to see more gangs that aren't like raiders. They're like the Kings in New Vegas and such.
Yeah, little groups. I feel like the Mothman cult is kind of
Giant Mafia.
Well, they're cultists. They're like, no, we're gonna kill you in the name of our
Yeah.
fucking moth god.
No, what about the evangelical Mothman? Just like, hey,
He's like,
someone come to our moth church.
Or
sorry, I
Moth
thought I was
Church.
about to sneeze. Mothman.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like the little groups like that might not even play a big part into the story, but they're just like little, like funny groups of people.
They'd be
Sons
the
of
type
Dane.
of people that are like the main characters are getting their asses beat, and then
Like,
they like just stumble across and it's like, oh, look who it is.
yeah, they might not come
Oh.
back. Wait, what? I don't know all the whole story. I can't remember. It's not very. I never went deep into it. The Duchess of Welch, like groups like that, like just a bunch of Kim peddlers.
There's also
Yeah.
the mistresses. Or
'Cause
whatever.
I was going to talk about, the Mystery Mysteries. Like those groups might not come back necessarily in full force. I think Mystery Mysteries is kind of like a cool, like,
No, they're
downfall
dead.
story.
They ain't
Yeah,
coming
they're
back.
dead. The Sons of Dane probably ain't coming back, but I think I like their way of. It's just a motorcycle club.
Is that what the Sons of Dane were? A motorcycle club?
I think they were.
I
They're kind
figured.
of like the one percenters. They're kind of like a gang, basically.
I never knew that.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
That seemed like
They
a
can't-
game.
they just
That's like a
party.
thing.
The Sons of Dane were like they're what was it called? What's the location called? Sons of Dane outpost or headquarters. I'm getting on the map right now.
Oh, the compound.
Yeah, the compound. It's kind of like a
That's the
club.
compound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah, there's little groups all over the map. I mean, the Moonliners in general, I kind of want to see. I want to see them be more than just enemies.
I want to see them like be a bit more passive, have some like traders and stuff like that. Because if anything, the Purveyors are already like an example that it's possible.
It's also their civilized. I think there comes a day they might overcome their hate for technology in the middle of, and they finally trample that thing into the ground where it belongs.
Where it took their
That
jobs.
still needs to be an event. Player versus player event. Where either siding with industry or siding with the mole miners.
Well, that's why the Mole Miners show up during the Motherload event because they want to destroy the Mother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
we're
fuck
talking
the
about-
Motherload.
The
We're
fucking
talking
mad-
about like the side stories that will progress in the Wastelanders. It's only been such a recent thing since I feel like it pops up all the time. I'm looking on the map currently somewhere. Manhunt, the story of Mad Dog Malone, and all those prison events are centered around him. And it's like I don't think he gets a lot of attention on Reddit or Discord, like talking about him.
He's the cartoon villain that keeps breaking out of Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, he's just the warden keeps saying, "I need to find him and make an example out of him." And when you
He's
find
the
a
Joker,
Manhunt,
baby.
he's like, "I ain't going back." And he's like, "I feel like
He's
there's
got,
a time
and he
where
he goes back.
Mad Dog Malone's gonna be a good guy one day or something." Or kind of like one of those things where like, "Please help, don't arrest me."
Please,
The warden
I'm
doesn't
sorry. I want to be normal.
stop. I didn't choose to be like this. The warden can't kill me because I'm strong. There's a lot of good like little side stories and everything in 76. Like
Yeah.
little group, I want to see more of.
Well, I think it's already confirmed already. Mothman Cult's going to be one of the sub factions, isn't it?
Yeah, they're gonna be. I wouldn't call
Actually-
them coming back, but they're gonna be here.
I think, okay, this is kind of far fetched, but in Fallout 1, because I like referencing things to Fallout 1 because this game is technically a prequel to Fallout 1. It's before all that, and it's just there. Anyway, in Fallout 1, the Thieves Guild was an actual faction in Fallout 1, and the purpose of them in Fallout 1 was you go to them and you have to do like I believe like a couple, I think one mission or so to prove that you're worthy of them. They give you an auto lockpick that you use to get into the locked vault. I forgot what the number was, but that's where you go to get the water chip for your vault. And it might be really cool to see them come back again at some point.
Like crime syndicate, you know? Like,
Yeah, like
there's a lot of
almost-
potential. Like,
some sort of
And the guy-
sneaky sort of guild almost. Kind of like how Skyrim has its like different, you've got the Fighters Guild, Mages Guild, that sort of
Right.
thing. That'd be kind of cool.
And I also liked with that is that the leader of the Thieves Guild in Fallout 1 was literally Robin Hood. It was like some character who like talked like Robin Hood and like acted like him.
I'm
It was pretty
curious
interesting.
I'm
On
actually
how-
curious now.
when NPCs come in, like what group will they align to if they're Wastelanders? I don't think they'll just be plain Jane Wastelanders. They'll kind of like they got their own little like wigs to them. They'll be groups.
That's the thing though. Nobody really has to assign themselves to a faction.
Yeah, but I
Think about it.
They'll be the Anchor Farm. I think Anchor Farm will be like kind of like where it starts. He's like, oh crap, and he's like this one little group out in Savage Divide is having some trouble, and then you go to them. They got their own little identity. So that's what you want. Like you want the Kings were very unique and particular in how they were. They were just Elvis impersonators.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. The unique factions that are like borderline insane, but their insanity unites them.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'd like to see Free States and Responders come back the most, just because of their uniqueness and they're new. They've never really been explored before.
Longevity.
Yeah, there's more they can do with them. I mean, I feel like if the Brotherhood came back, we've seen the Brotherhood enough. Give someone else the spotlight for a while.
Yeah, I think they could come back in the numbers of New Vegas, but in a different light. One of these things where it's like, we're here, but we need to be careful. Or just a bunch of random wastelanders who kind of look at the Brotherhood and like, oh, we need to be like them.
Literally, just a group of people that impersonate other factions.
I mean, that's what we are, really, when you think about it. The Voldors just came out the vault and decided, hey, we're going to take up the mantle of these factions.
But there are
I'm talking
surviving
I'm
numbers.
talking
of these
wackier than
factions,
us,
though.
man. I'm talking Arkham Imposter or Gotham City Imposters level joke.
Yeah,
I'm
I
talking
think
clown.
Alright, so I think, if there's any faction coming back, who do you think it will be, and why do you think it will be them, in terms of, do you think they've got is there a surviving member behind that faction that you think will come back?
in Wastelanders,
Yeah.
Responders sponsored with Melody Larkin. 'Cause she's never really in a body.
Exactly. I'm going to have to agree with you on that one, yeah. I think it's possible. I think that's a likely thing to happen. Someone needs to come back.
Yeah, I mean, with the Free States, there's Riley Clay and his kids, his two remaining kids that they don't really talk much about. I had to look deep into that. Like, oh, the reason why they lost the Battle of Harper's Ferry was they didn't have really the leadership of Riley Clay there. He had left his two kids after Harper's Ferry was attacked once. And he had lost his wife and kid. He could come back in the Brotherhood. I know there's like a few name numbers and like probably multiple just people that just went missing. I mean, not everybody dies in this. There are some people that run off.
I get a feeling
Why not come back?
there's a lot of people that have probably just left the region. Because it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. Why would everyone just go, oh no, the Scorched are coming, we better just stay here and die? It's like,
Yeah.
Suicide's badass.
And also
Because
there's
you
the
leave
thing and then
Because
there's
you leave.
the permanent leaving where they're like, I'm not coming back, I'm not, this is bullshit, I don't want to be. And even if I do come back, people are going to be like, hey, you left us, didn't you? It's kind of like the ghouls that left for the Capital Wasteland that weren't killed and ran off. Yeah.
that's
It's kind of like, we're not coming back,
we ain't coming
Like,
back
we're
here.
not coming back.
Them
We
Free
ain't coming
States.
back. Like, even if the Free States go, we're not coming back.
Yeah.
Mothman Cult is coming back. We don't have any characters that are legitimately part of the Mothman Cult that we hear much from in the main story
They're just
or in
kind of-
many of the side stories.
they just kind of exist.
The priests that start, all the people that start up the Landview Lighthouse. What's that event? Putting the Firefly juice inside of the lighthouse.
Path of Enlightenment.
Path of Enlightenment. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
There's
At the very
two
top of the
characters that I
lighthouse.
think could possibly make a reappearance. The first one, and the one I hope, is Abby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't really
You never
talk
see her
about
dead body.
this, yeah.
She says that she's dead when you walk into her building. But
She
there's
just
no
assumed, because she's like, well, everybody else is dead around me. At my last hope, I'm going
Yeah.
to that Raider thing, and I'm going to check for Hank Madigan and see if she can help me. I'm pretty sure she either tried to go off and do it. We haven't been able to find it ever, or she said, no, it's not worth it. I'm not going to help you.
And then
Out of spite,
one that I don't want but seems highly likely is the Brotherhood.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but one of Taggart Thunder's original members is only missing in action instead of killed in action. So
Yeah, I think they could come back. just not as the Brotherhood. It's just the New Vegas, kind of like how it's like
It's the New Vegas.
but not like not like the crappiness of New Vegas, but the numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
As for the Raiders, I mean, the Raiders are the Raiders. They have Rose. Enclave is the Enclave. They have Modus. They have the two most beautiful robot couple, the most beautiful robot couple in the world. Like,
Speaking of Raiders, I went to the top of the world, but I never went to the second floor, I believe, which is like that
yes.
cool.
Amazing.
I've never been up there. That was like my first time going up there. I remember seeing it in a bunch of trailers. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, this must have been cut. I would always go to the third floor because I'm like, all right, I need to get this shit done for this bitch because I didn't really like her. But then I go up there, I'm like, yo, look at all this potential. This is free real estate.
It's in the Wastelanders trailer and those NPCs there. So it looks like Rose. Looks like Rose got her army.
Ugh, fuck Rose.
Yes.
You got to topple a dictator.
We hate Rose because of the freaking quest on associated with her.
I hate
Exactly.
Rose because she took her fucking karma surrender back. I wanted that thing.
Yeah.
Actually,
That thing was fun.
as a character, I think Rose is actually really interesting.
Because it was kind of like David Thorpe was like, "Oh shit, I killed her." It's like, all right, let me make a robot that I think acts like her.
Yeah,
I'll
It's
get
kinda
back to
sad.
Charleston Fed.
and it kind of goes
It's, like,
back to
creepy.
the whole it's creepy but sad. Like it goes back to the whole how they've kind of humanized raiders nowadays. It's not just there's a bunch of raiders terrorizing our settlement. It's there was David Thorpe and the survivors from the ski resort that were left behind by the responders. It's
Yeah, you think the whole thing with Rose and all that, you felt the future of Wastelanders is the Vault Dealer has to help her basically power up the National Isolated Radio Array. And I think that's what drags them all in, It's like,
it's at least what drags the raiders here, sure. And apparently in the files there's references to her having a new voice line regarding the treasure of Appalachia.
yeah.
So
Spoiler alert, it's gold. Dead money toilet boogaloo.
Uh,
I hope it's not gold, man.
It shouldn't be gold.
Okay.
There's no fucking reason for it to be gold. But knowing Bethesda, it'll be gold.
Okay, knowing how this game works in some cases, it's probably just going to be how we get the fucking Goss weapons.
That's what
I
I'm
think there's
hoping.
going to be some practicality to it, but I think we talk about Vault 90 or 79.
There's probably just a bunch of gold and then a bunch of like excess important
From the-
information that each faction can't use.
From the
They
very
get
start.
gold-plated Gauss rifle.
From the very start of like when they first released that, it showed the wild Appalachian and Nuclear Winter and Wastelanders original promo image. I was like, ooh, Vault 79. It looks like a Vault Boy leaving it with weapons and all that. And then the new one or not even really the new one, the one from E3, where it's like all those people leaving and you can see the outlines of certain weapons that they're adding in Wastelanders.
Right.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like there are people in there.
Yeah, because
There's no such thing as a
almost like
vault without some sort of person. Yeah. And I don't think it's people going in there and taking everything and leaving in a weird way because it's such a wide array of people in that promo image.
Well, have you heard the whole thing with there's something that basically implies that they might be changing how you start the game with Wastelanders. So
Yeah.
And I was thinking what a really cool way of them doing that would be is you're actually a Wastelander, and at the start of the game, instead of leaving the vault, you're a Wastelander that comes into Appalachia and finds a dead dweller and takes his pit boy. You know what I mean?
That's pretty cool because that reminds me of how people were coming up with these fake rumors for what 76 was gonna be, and people were like, "Oh yeah, it's a single player game, etc." And one of the things was that you're actually a Wastelander from the outside. You go inside the vault and you pick up someone's pit boy, and then you find out that the vault's evil or some shit. It was something that was just credibly fake.
I mean, another thing with Wastelanders is, man, we're focusing a lot on Vault 79 because it's everything that the rest are talking about. And for the most part, then there's a lot of people come back. We've been talking about the Chinese and possibly them coming back too. And like, there's just so much stuff that's going to happen with Wastelanders that varies. I want to see some new events and daily missions and side missions. Stuff that actually affects the story, like We're not gonna just see Vault 79 influence all these people.
I want it to be some hype up national treasure type shit where we don't know what's in it, and it's just
We're gonna
hyping it up,
find-
and it builds
It's
up.
the goddamn
to that-
Constitution.
We're gonna
It
find
builds
a
up, and then
Declaration.
it's like this whole hyped up. Like I expect Vault 79 to be a raid. I think that's what I'm just thinking about it. It's probably not going to be something like that, but
It's not.
Nah.
gonna
it,
be-
it, it feels like
Actually,
it's like ah.
see with the vaults, I get the feeling we're good. Oh, someone may want to go outside and deal with that.
I got it.
Oh, get this one actually. Hold up, the police are
Hot
here.
damn.
But as I was saying,
Sheriff's dispatch.
I get the feeling. Oh, fuck! I've totally lost train of thought now.
Where is? Oh, it's your.
Oh, what was I talking about there? What was the last
We
thing?
were talking about the vault and how it's a raid, and then
Oh, right, yeah. Vault 6. People, I know. We already know Vault 94 or 96. The other one that's still to open. That's going to be a raid.
oh fuck!
Oh my god.
What?
He just came running in here, didn't he?
Clap him.
How did I? Ignore
What
that.
happened?
Ignore that. I hit him. I killed him one shot.
Okay.
I didn't miss.
So,
Did I miss one?
Yeah, he came like running in.
just,
See, I
just,
blasted the ones up the street, and then this one comes in and is like, "Hello."
just an obsessed fan. That's how we'll explain that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, we already know Vault 96 is going to be a raid as well. And what I was thinking is, you notice they've not really talked about 63, and I get the feeling that they've changed their mind on having 63 be a raid. I think they'll make that a more traditional vault, at least during Wastelanders. And I get the feeling Vault 51 will open and be a bit more explorable. And I want to
That's the thing.
I want to see it, and it's like post Jesus Christ, sex. Post you know, the events of the vault. I want to see like the bodies of the people and like actually be able to find out the story
Right.
without having to deal with a fucking time limit to listen to it.
Right. And then thinking about it, we haven't gotten a traditional dungeon experience. I'm pretty sure the last one that we got was the Arco Slabs, which really
Yeah.
isn't a dungeon. It's more of an event. But it would be cool to see them have vaults be more of a dungeon experience, like the burrows and
Just like
It's
etc.
the interior stealth bonds.
Yeah, just like any other Fallout game. When you find a vault, like I miss being able
Right.
to just there's a vault. I'm going to open it up and see what's inside. You know.
Let's open up this can of beans.
The option, instead of accessing the terminal to start the raid, you just go past the terminal, you go to the vault and you enter it. And there you go, you're inside the vault entrance, you can explore, you have to kill the thing. Shit, they can stay the same level.
Make like the final point
There's no
in the
objectives.
vault. No objectives, but like always a dungeon ends at a specific point. Either make the overseer's office a specific thing, or if they decide to do it with what's the one that we have at 94? This one with the Gek, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which sucks.
Have the
because-
end point be where that Gek is, and then a way to get back up to the past or back to the entrance, and you can leave.
What annoys me about the 94 thing is there's so much good lore behind Vault 94 that I didn't know about. And the only reason I knew about it is because I saw a Reddit post recently about it. And it was, I always thought it was Raiders that fucked over the vault, but it wasn't. It was the Free States.
So, yeah, and then
I didn't hear about that.
in our RP, we just make it so that it's the Free Staters when we write it out. But we were like, oh, let's just say it was the Free Staters and kind of leave it open to whatever your character thinks. But it was actually Free Staters.
You want to explain that a little bit more? I haven't.
So basically, Vault 94 was the idea behind that. It was a seed vault. It was, kind of like that place in the Arctic that holds. I don't know.
Right. The seed vault has every seed on the face of the planet,
And
right? Yeah.
But Vault-Tec staffed it. Did I hear a Vault-Tec staffed it with pacifists. It was basically, I don't know the correct word for them, but I'll just say the pacifists. And the whole idea was, when the vault opened, it was just to see how they'd react and see if they would actually go against, what they believe in to stay alive. But the problem was they didn't. They remained pacifists and opened up the vault and let people come inside. And basically a bunch of Free Staters showed up and they were that creeped out by the pacifists that they thought they were being possessed by the Gek, and they shot the Gek, and it exploded and created the Stranglehearts.
God.
Yeah. The Free States are a very superstitious backwater people. They
So what you
hated-
done did? What you done fucking did, man? Look at this. Look at this. You did this.
I'm pretty sure in one of the missions, I think it's Meltdown, you can actually find the ghouls, the ghoul corpses, or not ghoul corpses, but basically the Free Staters, and they're turned into ghouls. It's cool.
Yeah.
Vault 94, Free States. See, everyone's done
There's
some bad shit.
stuff.
That kind of goes back to what we were saying. But again, we kind of got a bit off topic, but talking about future factions and stuff. Is there any ideas people have for like implementation of faction outfits, faction camp items, anything like that?
I mean, that's for the respawners. They have a slew of outfits. One of them's rare. I mean, during the Halloween, there was the fireman costume that I was wearing earlier. I like it. I like the respawner outfits. They're just kind of like twists on like classic. Just, oh yeah, it's a police officer from the 50s. That's a fireman outfit, and that's a paramedic outfit that I'm wearing.
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
Stalin. Yeah.
Responders. I like to think, we all like to think, we kind of agreed on it, that the CPD on the chest plate of the new Ranger armor that was added with Fallout First is Charleston Police Department. And with the military involvement in the riots and protests, and all the turmoil that happened before the war, it would make sense that it is Charleston Police Department. That is the kind of Ranger armor.
I enjoy that because I always enjoyed that because people always sometimes forget that power armor wasn't created post-war. Or not power armor, sorry. Ranger armor wasn't created post-war. It was riot armor, and then it was enhanced to look the way it does now, in a way.
Yeah. What was it? The pastor's vestments and challenges still, since early on, are counted as responder outfits. And I think that also kind of exemplifies that the responders are civilians.
Yeah, they're just kind of
Always
like default, like, when you think emergency services and stuff that would happen, it's the people you would imagine would be involved in that. So, cop, police, firemen, paramedics, government officials, that sort of stuff.
Buildings and everything, we need faction stuff for the different people. They got free states and people like that, but they didn't like the price. And they might come out with some responder stuff. I can't wait. I think the general assumption is that there'll be 2 outfits with each faction bundle.
I could think that.
So that'd be a good thing. The Enclave get another outfit,
So,
and then the 2 outfits. Brotherhood has a good outfits too.
okay, so let's do a little fun sort of thing here on that subject. So let's go through each faction and let's think if you could have 2 outfits, for each faction, what would we add? Now, we won't include Free States because we've already had a faction bundle for those guys. Raiders, I think we'll not do them either. So let's just go for Enclave, Responders, and Brotherhood. So if you could add 2 outfits for each faction, what do you think?
For Enclave, Craig, you know that photo you keep showing in the Discord server?
Oh, that
Twist on the
banner?
Ranger
That one.
armor.
yeah.
The armor, yes.
I haven't
As
seen
well
that.
as a matte black for the Forest Scout. For all the Scout armor, it needs it badly.
Just
Is it
more
in-
tan. Just more tan and black stuff. It was posted a few days ago. You find it.
Oh, I've got
It
it.
was-
I'll put it in the chat.
Look at it. It keeps that tan and black. I love the tan and black Enclave stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
And
would
that little
definitely rock
bit
with
of
that.
silver on the shoulder pad there.
Yeah.
Look, reminds me of the Mandalorian.
I think
Yeah, I see that a little bit.
I think for Enclave, I'll actually put that picture up. I'll try and find actually who to credit for it because it is some really nice artwork that's done by someone. But we'll get that to come up, and I think for the Enclave maybe a retextured clean room suit from Fallout 4 for like an
Yeah.
Enclave sort of scientist,
I love that suit.
or maybe Colonel.
But
Autumn's
give it the proper
coat.
1000 rad resistance, please.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The
What about
250
Brotherhood?
bullshit was not enough.
If you could do it.
Brotherhood. Of all the outfits they've added, they even added the elder coat and all that.
Yeah.
They have the Palmer paints and everything. They have the engineer and science card outfit. I'm trying to think of an outfit.
Fallout New Vegas. Circle of Steel Assassin's outfit. Christine's outfit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like the old sort of
Oh
recon
yeah.
outfit.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a
Well,
good
no, no,
one.
no.
I never even thought about that.
There was two different ones. Because there's the recon outfit that we see in 3 and in New Vegas.
Uh-huh.
But what I'm talking about mainly, although I love the recon outfit as well, is in Old World Blues or Lonesome Road. No. Dead Money, I think.
yeah, Dead
you see
Money's
the
like
assassin suit.
Eliza's
Yeah.
robes. Or
Yeah,
you're talking
no.
about that suit. You just want that suit.
Oh no,
I'll send a photo of it, but
I
it's the
see it.
suit
I've
that
got it,
Christine
yeah.
was supposed to wear when she went with the Circle of Steel to assassinate Elijah.
That's a nice. Okay, I see exactly what you're talking about. That's really
Yeah.
nice, and I'll save this image and I'll share it in the chat, and I'll also make it pop up right now in the video for people.
So you guys take a look at this thing. It looks really sleek.
I'll also actually make it quickly while runs, talking. I'm uploading pictures and stuff. Riot armor without the coat is actually
Yeah.
really nice looking. I don't know if anyone's ever seen
Honestly.
See, I'd like
Well,
that first one. I just really like.
See, now
not
the
one
only
thing
problem
I
with that
really
photo you just sent with the armor, Greg,
Uh-huh.
it has good looking pants instead of shitty jeans.
Yeah, it's nice. And then
The
that's
jeans
it.
anger me with the riot armor. It's
It's
like
like a U.S. Marshal.
I'm a riot cop. Why don't I have jeans on?
Because it's like it's like a U.S. Marshal.
Yeah, you
So?
got like the just wearing the jeans and like trying to protect all that nice stuff. Yeah, I'd like some padding on all that stuff.
Yeah. And then Craig just put up the
I'm not
assassin
going to say
outfit.
anything about that, but do you see the chest piece and how much it looks like before Scott on it?
Yeah, it's dead. Very similar. Very similar. Okay, so let's talk about responder ideas. Two ideas for responders.
Like outfits wise, I'd really like to see. I want to say like just the range armor without the duster on it. I like the duster, but I think it looked more like just traditional SWAT gear, big and beefy armor, dude, and just the CPD on the chest plate. I'd like to see something else with the fire breathers. We already got like 3 different fireman outfits, and I've always liked the idea of on the cover of another game, Battlefield 5. There's a guy wearing a cape. I would love to see a fire breather outfit with some kind of cape. It's always, I don't know. I just imagine a bunch of fire breathers getting in a line with like fireproof blankets as capes and blocking us with sonar blast or something,
It's pretty.
The cape's got to have the fire breather logo on it. That logo is so good.
Yeah.
Going back to you were talking about the Ranger armor, that without the coat and maybe like a responder logo painted onto it, on like
Yeah.
the breastplate,
Oh, that would look really good.
right? And then imagine like SWAT painted in the back of it in white,
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah,
it's
just straight like align it.
that'd be, or like on the pauldrons, because I'll put the picture up again. I think I showed it earlier, but I'll put it up again. Like on the pauldrons, you can put like a responder logo.
Yeah.
That'd be really nice. And
I
it'll
want to see more responder logos, more responder building items.
Okay, so moving on to faction stuff. What about faction camp items? What would you like to see?
We'll start off the responder now. I just want what they got in Fallout 4. Like I said, just stickers to put on the wall. Like really nice stuff. How they had the half truck for the feed stage, just stuff that would look like it used other stuff. Even a skin for the personal terminal that looks like a volunteer terminal.
Ooh, that's a good one. I never even thought about that one.
Posters that are like, oh yeah, join the responders, or pictures, paintings, just skins.
Or like see the big responder trading post sign you see everywhere that's got like guns, ammo, aid, that sort of thing. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
You're out here with just chems.
I want to see,
skins.
for Raiders, I want to see more like the spikes. There's not enough spikes.
Spikes, cages, you already have that stuff in Fallout 4. You see a lot of like the flag poles that represent the factions, flags too.
But not just the Raider flag. It says Raider on it. I want Raider flags with like
you want the cutthroat symbol on it, or like a freaking big old like cutthroat symbol drawn in blood.
That'd be awesome. We've already seen we're getting faction versions of the Protectrons, which is pretty cool. Or Collectron, should I say. But, because I think, what was it? There was a Free States one, but it's kind of vanished. I can't track it. I can't ever find a picture of it again. There was also a Raider one, isn't there? A Cutthroat one. That was kind of cool. And there's a Chinese one as well.
Yeah, you want Steelheart too. Just a white responder one.
Yeah, I think Steelheart one would be great for the responders. One that looks like the one. What's the one in Watoga for the Brotherhood? What's his name again?
Phoenix.
Venerable
Yeah, he's got little logos on him. He's got.
Yep.
I think he's got like some kind of green hue to him.
And then maybe the Enclave one. Just I don't like. I wouldn't say the Butler one because it's kind of weird looking and it wouldn't be instantly recognizable as Enclave. I think maybe like a black and silver one with like the white stars on it would probably do well.
And
But yeah. Free
Paid
State
promotional advertising.
Free State stuff. I think we've kind of covered the bases pretty well with Free State's camp stuff. I think.
Yeah, signs. Free States keep out.
Enclave, I'd like to see like the vending machine be like a Modus terminal, like a Modus uplink sort of thing.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Maybe like a unique voice line when you interact with it.
Military stuff with their logos painted on it would be a nice touch. Because there's already enough military stuff in the game. It's just, you can't really discern whether it's Brotherhood or Enclave.
Craig, with the vendor bots, the vendors, the normal ones play the normal music, and the Halloween one already plays the spooky music, so you could have it so like they play different musics.
Oh, the Enclave one could play like patriotic music, like the Enclave radio.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be good. Imagine just Modus welcoming people to your vendor. Welcome, shopper. Be amazing.
Welcome.
I don't know what you could do for
Customer.
A Brotherhood one would be quite cool as well. You could have it look like you could have like gun racks or like laser rifles and like a cage sort of thing. So it looks like an armor.
Even just like those concrete barriers you see around all over the place in the world with their logo slapped on it. That would be really helpful.
Yeah, the Brotherhood barricades.
Yeah.
Enclave versions. You could do black ones with like the Enclave E on them. Maybe
you could even do for responders because they seem like they could use that.
You could do faction tents, different colours of tents with the logos on them. I'd quite like that one. There's a lot of things you could do for factions.
I could actually, because supposedly there's going to be decorations for the Fallout First survival tent. I could honestly see them doing that for that. Just different decorations that you can pick for your survival tent for different factions.
Yeah, like themes almost. And I don't like often reference into other games, but like Red Dead with your tent, you can get different themes for your tent. That's
yeah, and I feel like you could also possibly earn them for free by picking the faction Wastelanders. So whatever faction you pick, you get that for. Well, actually no, because then it's Fallout First. So let's keep it out of shot.
Yeah. I guess other cool things you could do is like different versions of the turrets. Like maybe make Free States turrets that are a bit more homemade looking.
More shopping cart turrets.
Yeah. A gun duct taped to a wheelbarrow.
Mm-hmm.
Or a mop bucket. My fault.
Maybe the Enclave.
There's a zombie movie. There's a zombie movie where it's literally a 50 caliber machine gun on a shopping cart. And you'd like to see that in the game almost.
I would. That'd actually be a really cool feature. Custom turrets.
The first vehicle.
So you put down whatever, you put down like a tripod and then you can attach whatever weapon you want to it. So you can make like radium rifle turrets, gamma gun turrets, that sort of thing.
But non-legendaries, because I don't want to deal with that.
No, that would be more part of the fun. Imagine that, legendary turrets defending your camp.
I want a gun that's just 250 calibers taped together.
I mean, if you're wanting a 2-shot explosive scatter shot laser rifle, shopping cart,
I think it'd be pretty
interesting.
interesting.
A mole rat that just poked up in front of your front door.
the biggest flex of all time.
It'd be kind of interesting to see in the future
Using legacy
some
weapons
sort of
as turrets.
like a specific type of weapon that could only be used in power armor.
Yeah, that's something
Like-
I always thought would be cool. Was that heavy weapons were power armor dependent.
Yeah.
Except maybe the missile launcher, because missile launchers standard.
He was too close.
Yeah. So I think that probably it's going to be another long episode as standard nowadays, but that's fine. Not a major issue. So with this being what is technically a Thanksgiving episode, which is why I kind of picked factions, because I figured we're a bunch of factions just sitting talking. But to finish it off, we are going to do a turkey shoot, which should be interesting. So we will be right back. Alright, so we're back, and we are going to do a turkey shoot. Basically means Stacks are dressed as turkeys, the others have black powder rifles and are going to hunt us, and we'll just kind of fuck around for a bit.
Fuck back!
We can only run, we're not going to fight back, at least at first, because...
Alright,
We won't actually try and-
kill Stacks first.
So, yeah, we're going to get we're going to give us 5 seconds. I'll get a stopwatch ready. And then
And
you
no
guys-
bats, right?
No
No
bats.
bats, yeah, no bats.
Alright,
Three.
so-
I was gonna say, oh, you're about to blow your head blown
Okay.
off, Craig.
So I am going to start a stopwatch. So Stacks, we can start running now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Duck hunt.
Got him!
Take their damn legs. Gobble gobble them down.
Stacks, brother, don't leave me.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Other hunters. Turkeys don't have guns. Doesn't matter.
Oh, the scorch.
they don't-
Oh no, the scorch are joining.
Oh, shit.
That's a shame. Looks like it makes the hunt easier for us then.
No, the Scorcher bonus points.
Oh,
Bitch!
I hate the
I
gun
haven't
fire.
even been able to see them. They're running so fast I can't see them.
Some poor
I'm
Scorcher.
getting hit by scorch behind me, and it's like making me
You're getting hit by a
sad.
mole rat.
Oh, a mole rat, I guess.
Ow. Stacks, brother. I'm hurt.
They'll never find us in here.
I keep canceling the
Ow,
reload on the
bitch.
black powder, so I have to wait like another 10 minutes every time I fuck it up.
No.
Hey, the headshot.
Craig, I wish I was recording this. I wish I was recording this.
Saved by the
Craig,
Scorch.
Craig, you need to record this. You need to get here before I get shot.
I don't even know where he's at. Where is he?
He's down here following me. I see him running around. Jesus Christ.
Ugh, Jesus Christ.
Oh no, I can't tell which one's which. Oh no.
Shoot him both.
Caution.
I smell him.
With the advancements made by the Pilgrims. Oh shit.
Oh! My health dropped!
This turkey clap.
Oh my god. Gear. The second he went around the corner, I was like, oh boy, he's one his out.
We thank God stays in heaven because he's afraid of the things he's made.
So I think
Probably.
that will call it for that episode. Thanks everyone for coming on again. And I guess happy Thanksgiving to the Americans.
Oh, that was dirty. I just thought about that. He's AFK.
But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for you guys for coming on. It's been fun. And we'll be back next week. with
Nothing
another
personal,
episode.
kid. I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back.
Jesus.
I'll pay you back. This is going in a highlight reel.
I can't see it, that's the problem.
He's actually recorded himself.
Yeah. Next week, we'll probably talk about. I think we actually had something lined up for next week. I just can't remember what it was. But so we decided what we're gonna do.
Are you even? Oh, come on. I was like, "Are you even hostile?" And then it's like, hold on. 50. Okay, never mind.
But yeah, we're probably going to do another 3 episodes after this one. So it rounds off on 10. So yeah, we'll see you next time.